and my name is Winston Take. Now to more news. Economist Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie is hopeful Ghana's early settlement of the $709 million Eurobond will improve the country's credit ratings, describing the payment as a good step after investors took a haircut on their investment. Dr. Sarkodie said the gesture must be maintained to fully restore confidence in Ghana's economy.
We saw how we lost access to the Eurobond market in the year 2022 because our economy was deemed as not having the ability to repay our debt because we could not pass some revenue measures in the 2023 budget. Now, going into 2023, we saw the difficulties. We had to run to the IMF program, and a prior action was to restructure our debt. So if you put these two together, Ghana was not in a position of creditworthiness. And so having gone through these painful haircuts, bondholders having endured this, we had to do something as a country to get back our credibility and restore investor confidence. And so it is very good that we are showing commitment, serious commitment to their repayment. The bondholders have sacrificed by taking their restructured debt. And so we must, as a country, also show that we are sacrificing by making early payments even ahead of time. So it is a very significant step that the ministry or the minister and the government have taken, something which was started by the previous administration, and it's good that they have stayed the course of ensuring that Ghana regains its position as a credit-worthy country. I believe that these developments will give us an upgrade in the next credit ratings by the credit rating agencies. So it is good for us and it is good for our economy going forward in the event that we decide to go to any capital market to borrow. Okay. At least we have something to show that when they give us the money, we can pay.
Away from that, exporters in the non-traditional export sector are making a passionate appeal to government to pay particular attention to the sector as an avenue to grow local economies across the country. This is aimed at ensuring that the sector growth is sustained to rake in more foreign exchange for the country. Speaking to Joy Business, Executive Director for Trade Aid Africa, Nicholas Apokere, explains that over the concentration on traditional export like gold and cocoa alone is not enough to grow the economy.
So we need at some point to say that, look, we want to be deliberate about growing the Ghanaian economy by promoting our local production and promoting local consumption. And we cannot do this by running the exchange rates the way we are doing now.
Okay. But do you think there's the need for cost of production also to be looked at? Do you think there's a policy to check on cost of production, especially?
Yes, cost of production has to be looked at. What are the main areas of the cost build-up of our local producers? If you take things like the rice sector, you have the raw material, the paddy rice, then you have utility costs and all that. These things are very high, but these are things that government, especially with the utilities, is something that government has control over, and government has to be able to manage the utility sector that it promotes, local production. If the electricity bills are so high, the rice miller will have no alternative than to pass that cost to the final consumer. If I'm buying fertilizer at a very high price, why is that up to now we cannot produce fertilizer in this country? If I'm buying fertilizer at a high cost, then I have no option than to pass that to the consumer. So yes, production cost has to be looked at, but many of the variables around that are out of the control of the actual producer, and it is the responsibility of government to review that and bring up policies that will bring down the production costs.
As exporters or as an exporter, we are entering into 2026. What would be your expectation? What would be what will you be looking out for that government could do, or even the private sector yourselves, to support the economic growth and then also to ensure that there's that enabling environment for businesses to thrive?
Yes, so the export, in every economy, export continues to be one of the major sources of foreign exchange, and Ghana cannot be an exception. So far, We have done that by, exporting gold, especially for this year. But we cannot rule out the role that the non-traditional export sector can also play. The craft sector, the horticulture sector, all the sector has significant role to play in making that, ensuring that we have more foreign exchange. So governments will need to look at all these sectors and see what are the gaps there and how can they help address those gaps.
That's all for business. My name is Winston Taken. Happy New Year in advance. We have more news for you after this break. Stay tuned.